What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the More Than Love podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got my man with me, Jay Bavo. What up, Jay?
What up, Ted? Looking forward to a great topic tonight here.
Yeah, man. Tonight, we're gonna be talking about something that I'm really passionate about. One of my main agendas, per se. Tonight, we're gonna be talking about making relationships last. Not the easy part where you just meet somebody and you decide to be with them, but doing the hard work it takes to put together a sustainable, long-term, healthy relationship. Shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for the audio, giving us the background music to do the podcast with. I definitely appreciate the love and the support. Before we get into the topic of the night, we like to start off the show with a segment that we call Terry's Top 3, where we basically highlight 3 of the most popular or the most controversial posts from my Instagram page at Terry Duran. So today we're going to be starting off with a video that's been going viral of K. Michelle sharing her thoughts on men. Let's take a listen.
I don't think men are good people. The reason for that is, like, for men to do things that they consider small in the flesh of, like, cheating, you know that that's going to destroy your partner, but you do it anyway. That's not a mistake. We've watched the same story over and over again.
Yeah.
And just because I'm a woman, I'm supposed to accept your betrayal.
Right.
Because you're taking advantage of my love for you, and I'm supposed to just be the one behind you riding or dying. I'm not dying with nobody. And to see girls come up to me, I'm the girl they come up to all day long crying. They tell me the most disgusting of stories that I couldn't even believe. And a lot of times men, the wrong man, will stunt your growth as a woman. Women could be doctors, lawyers, and everything, but they in the bed crying over what a man did to them.
All right, now, a lot of what she spoke about is the experience of the woman that's been heartbroken or done wrong, and usually by, like she said, a bad guy, a fuckboy, a deadbeat, etc. But for her to make a statement like men in general or not good people or men in general is bad, for starters, whenever you make a statement that you blanket all of another group, you're likely to be wrong with whatever statement you're making. All right. So that is a false statement to begin with. In her little rant or whatever, there are a couple things that she said that were assumptions or inaccurate that automatically kind of get treated as fact whenever a woman's going on a rant. Or whenever she's going on a tangent about how she feels about a man cheating or whatnot. Like, for example, she made the point, cheating is not a mistake. Well, technically, by definition, yes, it is. A mistake means a wrong choice when presented with more than one option. So you have the choice to be faithful and the choice to cheat. So yeah, you could say it categorized it falls under the definition of it being a mistake.
Right. I mean, first of all, she just generalized all men. Well, all men are bad. That's a general statement. It's a blanket statement, and obviously inaccurate. Now, I'm guessing it's based off the men that they deal with that were bad.
Right. Now,
it's just like when we do a show, we talk about some of the flaws that women do. We're not saying all women do this or all women do that. We don't say that.
Now,
we're not generalizing. We say some, or there are plenty of women that do this.
Yeah. Now, you also have to obviously take into account a woman's choices in decision making. But I think the message was really received negatively because of who it's coming from. K. Michelle is a former stripper. She got ass shots and all kind of stuff to increase her sexual, attractiveness to men, etc. Like, so for her to be trying to just talk about men and talk about relationship problems is really coming from a place like you're not really qualified to be giving that type of opinion based off your choices and decisions. And a reality show chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I just had to list 3 categories of women that will probably be the most difficult to date, I would probably say stripper, reality show, you know what I'm saying? Like, or a chick with a fake ass or an overinflated sense of sexuality. Like,
exactly. I mean, just coming from her, say these views are rather skewed to begin with.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and
that's another thing that stood out to me, she said, there's doctors, lawyers, and they're just because you're a doctor, lawyer, and that doesn't exempt you from being cheated on. It's not going to stop somebody from cheating because you're a doctor or a lawyer.
Right. Everybody that gets in a relationship faces the possibility of heartbreak and things of that nature. But what her rhetoric kind of does, it ignores all the pain that women cause to men, all the things that women do that inconvenience or hurt or hold men down. You know what I mean? Right. And it kind of plays to the we're just the victims. Men are just taking advantage of us. Men are just taking from us, and they just completely ignoring all the things that they get from men. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like these women that brag about the shit men buy them, and this is a woman that's dated millionaire men, athletes. Like, so you know that they putting her on flights and doing all this type of shit even before she was famous herself. You know what I mean? Like, so when women just only try to go on their soapbox and talk about the negative about men and ignore all the benefits that they get, well, that's not really being objective. You know what I mean? Like, and to make a statement like you said, like all men are bad. Like, come on, man, that's really foul. But a lot of people responded, and a lot of women disagreed with her comments as well. Let's see. Let's keep it moving. The next post that I wanted to talk about was a post that I actually created myself. It's a post that said, having relationship goals that are based on celebrities, fairy tales, or exceptions to the rule set women up for massive disappointment when they date men with real world dating behaviors. And I came up with that because it never really made sense to me why every time we talk about relationships or the things that women do that create problems, etc., there's always a group of women that will come and, well, Cardi got married, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll bring up some type of celebrity as if that validates whatever behavior that I'm discussing or whatever topic that we're talking about that's creating a problem or causing women to have struggles. And it's like, man, those women don't live regular lives.
A lot of times when they're comparing to these celebrities, like I said, these are more so anomalies than a standard.
Right, you know what I mean? Like,
you're talking about Cardi B. I mean, that's an anomaly. That's just like K Michelle, somebody who was a stripper and then became a rapper and got famous here.
Yeah, I mean, but it's they always want to bring up these type of scenarios or the fact that professional athletes get these type of chicks pregnant, or there are men that the chicks on the reality shows have husbands and things of that nature. Like, man,
but here's the thing: what difference with them dating those type of, like, it's not really based. I highly doubt if it's really based on anything tangible they bring to it. It's more based on superficial things. They look good, light skin, got fat ass, long hair, etc.
And they're usually men that, based off their profession, or make a lot of money, or in that type of entertainment. He's a producer. He's a this. You know what I'm saying? Like he may not have to be some world famous rapper, but you can be a C-list producer and still be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You can be somebody that only produced for T.I. and, you know what I'm saying, like for a couple of different people and still be very successful. You know what I mean? Like, so these type of women that seek those type of men where, man, they can afford to spend $3,500 or $5 on a bag fee. It's not a big deal.
But you even have some that say they want, compared to, the high profile celebrities, let's just say Jay-Z and Beyonce. I want that Jay-Z and Beyonce look. There's a lot of people compare to, you have more, and mainly women will compare to that. But the thing with that is you don't know what's going on in their personal life. You don't know what's
very true
going on in that. So that's why I tell you shouldn't base it on celebrities. You just see what you see on TV, social media, and all that.
But
you don't know what's going on
only
behind
take
closed
the
doors.
positives from those people.
Right,
that they see.
exactly.
And a lot of that is based around the finances. That they get to look glamorous, they get to have a makeup artist for every time they go out. They got a new outfit, a new bag, a new this. Like, they got paparazzi taking pictures, so they have a skewed perception of what reality is. You know what I mean? And that the way I've always looked at it, like, man, if I was wealthy enough to where I just had a personal trainer and all I had to focus on was working out with my trainer and letting my chef cook my meals and then handling my couple hours of business, like, man, you should be looking the best. You know what I'm saying? You got on the most expensive shit, the most flies jewelry, the most flies whips. Like, you should look better than the average person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm involved in media and I understand how TV production and all this stuff works. But to me, for people to be using celebrities as they dating goals, or they got some dating success, like that's a really bad move. You know what I mean? Like,
it is.
Celebrities and people in entertainment are usually a lot of the most dysfunctional people ever. You know what I mean? Like, these relationships you see, a lot of them are not, I wouldn't be describing as healthy relationships. So let's keep it moving. The next post that I want to talk about was another example of me trying to break down the fundamental difference between a quality man and a fuckboy. So this post says, the fundamental difference between a real man and a fuckboy is a real man attracts and engages women by being authentic and showcasing his real life and real personality. Fuckboys lie and deceive women to take advantage of them instead of presenting a real version of themselves. Now, to me, that seems like a no-brainer. Like, that seems like something really easy to identify. Not instantly. I'm not saying that you should just instantly know when somebody's lying to you or deceiving you. But anybody that has experience dating or spending time with the opposite sex, you should be able to observe patterns of behavior and inconsistencies, right? You can tell when somebody that is supposed to be on a certain education level just doesn't gather information like somebody that would be on that education level, or they don't speak, or they don't that's not reflected in other aspects of life. You know what I mean? Like, so when it comes to dealing with a fuckboy or a guy who's pretending to be something he's not, you know, he's married but he's pretending to be single. Like, those type of things are very difficult to maintain for a long period of time and do a good job of it. Right. There's obviously exceptions to the rule. You know, a wealthy man can probably do that. You know, somebody that has the means to be in different places and have multiple homes, etc., can have more leeway when it comes to things of that nature.
But most don't. You know?
Yeah, but most don't. So if you're talking to somebody and you communicating with them every day, you sleeping with them or seeing them several times a week, if you're not making real observations about what they actually do with their time and what they like, then you're really failing the dating phase. You know, you're only paying attention to, I don't know, the hopeless romantic side of dating.
Right. I think it's the hopeless romantic stuff because, you know, you're in love with the idea that this can possibly be the one. And I guess a lot of times, you know, you're not asking the right questions in that situation.
Yeah, man, you're right.
Because you know, I think if you're asking the right questions, I think you can see if there's a level of authenticity or not.
Well, or you'll be able to observe when what somebody's saying doesn't actually align with what they're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, the dude that can't tell you he's on his grind, he's doing this, and every time you talk to him, he's arguing and playing 2K with his partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, they rolling blunts together. And, like, you should be able to observe productive behavior. You can observe a man that's responsible, a man that got his priorities together, a man that's actually trying to put himself in position to be successful. Like, those type of behaviors are not accidental. They're not invisible. Like, you can see the consistency in how somebody is regimented and the discipline that they show and how they go about their day-to-day life. And so if you're not making those type of observations about the people you date, the people you marry, the people you have kids by, then what are you paying attention to? You know what I'm saying? Like really, what are you paying attention to if you're not looking at the things that let you know that he's not going to be a good father or she's not going to be a good mother? Like, to me, those are the type of things that should make you only casually date or kick it with somebody. not be smashing them raw 6 times a week. Like, that's idiotic behavior from my perspective. You know, after you identify those type of characteristics or values in a person, you know. But those type of decisions and dating choices prevent people from having the type of relationships we're going to be talking about tonight. So we're about to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be introducing a new segment to you all, and we'll get into the topic of tonight where we're talking about making relationships last. You're listening to the More Than Love podcast. We'll be back momentarily. You have everything it takes to become an effective dater. I've simplified the entire process for you. All you need to do is make some adjustments to your approach to learn how you're supposed to date by downloading the Terry Duran Dating Compatibility Guide. It's available for only $1.50 exclusively at terryduranbooks.com. All right, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to the More Than Love podcast. We're going to be introducing a new segment to you guys that we're going to be making a part of the show. Let them know what we got going, Jay.
Well, what we're going to bring here is trending discussions where week to week it's going to vary. We'll be talking about different, celebrity relationships or just things that went viral in general here. So this week we'll be talking about Fantasia's interview from the Breakfast Club this week.
What does that mean? You can't be a leader because a lot of women look at it like, no, I could lead in my household. I could do this in my household. What does that mean?
That's not how it's supposed to be, and that's why we bump heads. And I feel like it's a generational thing. And we could talk, we can go real deep on that, and I don't need to start that, but it's a generational curse. Mm-hmm. And how society have placed our men. Mm-hmm. And women have to stand up and be the mother and the father and the provider. And so then now you are so bad, you can't be told nothing, that when the right man come, you lose him because you're trying to be the man. I was finna say,
right.
Man.
Mm-hmm. Can we be equal?
Oh, of course. Mm-hmm. But see, at the end of the day, I'm the neck, my man's the head. So he can't make any moves without his wife. You know what I mean? It all works together. But you can't be the head of the house. You got to let the man be the head of the house. But it's a generational thing, and it's what we've been taught. To stand up, be strong, be the, you know what I mean? And a dude come and everything about you is like a man.
Now, I agree with some of the things she said. Some of the things that people were sending me about were other parts of the conversation that weren't necessarily part of that video. Where she made a comment that she thinks one of the biggest reasons women are single is because they won't submit to their men. Now, I think that kind of plays into our topic of the night. I think that's a woman's failure to be able to accept criticism or accept things from a man that she may not agree with or want to hear is a big reason that relationships don't last. Because that's a major component to any relationship, to work through the conflicts. But to touch on what she said as far as when you talk about the man being the head of the household, for a lot of women that have never observed a healthy relationship or seen a man that wasn't a fucked up dude or one of these men in these negative categories they always bring up, deadbeat, fuckboy, etc. If they're rarely talking about quality men,
Right.
Go ahead.
I know. I think she's made some valid points, and like I said, she said we can go deep, and I think there's a deeper message to what she was saying.
Yeah.
I think she's, and we don't talk about this stuff on the show a lot, but I think she's mainly talking about, black women and black men.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm pretty sure that's what she was going with that.
Yeah, that's something that I intentionally don't bring up, just, interracial couples or black love, etc., because I don't want black women to feel like I'm attacking them or taking a stance against black, even though I'm married to a black woman. But when you do, just to be fair and transparent, when you talk about black love, you can't talk about black relationships without the impact, or at least in America, without the impact of slavery, racism in our society in general.
Absolutely.
So
we're still affected to this day.
Right. So that's that's the main reason I don't discuss relationships with race specific subjects. I talk about men and women in general, the things that we observe and deal with that create conflicts and problems. But you're right. As far as women having an issue with a man because they were taught that they don't need a man, or they were taught that they could do things their way, and can't nobody tell them shit.
You're right, and I think the big elephant in the room there is there's a lot of these women that are growing up in these single women households. There are some of those that are bitter saying, men ain't shit, and then project a lot of that bitterness on to and passed on from generation to generation. I think in some cases there, not all, but there are a bunch of cases where that does happen.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like or
they grow up and they get. I mean, how many times do we see the super independent woman? I don't need a man for nothing. I got my own money. I got my own this. I got my own that. And you hear that. You hear that too at times.
Yeah, I mean, and to most guys, that is masculine energy. That is going to make a man not want to. Okay, because most men will be like, they'll fuck a woman like that. They'll casually kick it with her. But that's not somebody that he's gonna be trying to build with or be with long term. And those type of women, it seems like a contradiction because they'll project that they don't need a man, that they don't give a fuck about a man, they don't get dressed for a man's attention or none of these type of things. Right. But those are the same women that will have sex with a man trying to leverage sex into a relationship.
You know what I mean? Exactly. The irony there.
Yeah, so it's like on one hand they're trying to portray this image that they don't care about being married or being with a man or whatnot, but then the things that they do when they actually date men show that they're desperate for those things. So I don't know, man. On one day, if you talk to women about it, they'll tell you it's because they have a biological clock and they'll admit to it, and then another day they'll completely deny it. So it's like it's hard to have that kind of discussion, because.
I mean, just think, even sexually, they'll say, well, I don't need a man for nothing. I got my phone, I got a vibrator. I mean, how do we hear that as well?
And the problem with that is, the reality is, if no quality person needs another person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, any quality dude with a good job, he can live solo dolo and be straight. Just like any quality woman could. So there's no need to go around projecting, I don't need a woman to pay my bills. I don't need a woman to have a luxury car. I don't need a woman to have a haircut. I don't need a woman to dress fly. Like, it makes you look silly because it's like, well, damn, I know you ain't buying them $40 panties and getting your pussy waxed and doing this all stuff for yourself to just think it's cool and cute. Like you want some dick, you want
like you're doing it just to look at yourself in the mirror.
You like something about men, or otherwise you wouldn't be fucking with them. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't even be in a position to have a broken heart if you didn't like men. So to act like you're just completely unattracted to the opposite sex or have no desire for them, to me that doesn't make a lot of sense. But we see these these are the type of behaviors that I call sabotaging success. There are mentalities and behaviors, some learned, some societal, wherever it's from. There are things that decrease a woman's chance of ending up in the type of relationships that we're going to be talking about tonight. So with that, we can go ahead and switch gears and transition to our topic of the night.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we could probably do a whole show on if we wanted.
Yeah. This is the ultimate goal of everything that I do. I want people to learn how to make their relationships last. That's obviously easier said than done. There are a lot of things that can derail a relationship, a lot of things that can make a person fall out of love, make a person want to end a relationship, etc. And so I feel that if women are able to get an authentic perspective on what men actually deal with, what men actually observe, what patterns of behavior men see, then women can make better decisions and make sure they're not one of those chicks. You don't want to be one of those chicks that's drastically increasing the chance that she gets cheated on. drastically increasing the chances that a man falls out of love. Because with the way society's set up, you don't have that many opportunities to end up with a quality dude. So that means, it's kind of like the NFL schedule, right? When people compare the NFL to the NBA, they'll say, well, in the NFL you only got 17 games, so every game matters. Every game is really important. Well, it's kind of like that when it comes to quality men. Like, yeah, you might meet a whole bunch of fuckboys and a whole bunch of men that ain't got their shit together. All right, weed through them, get rid of them. But when you come across a man that's a quality man that does meet your checklist and you have the credentials that you look for, that is generally viewed as husband and father material, then you don't want to operate in a way that prevents you from being able to have success with those type of men. So I put together a little list of things that I would consider the pillars or the foundation to have any healthy relationship that can be sustained for a long period of time. Now, anybody can have a fling or a short-term thing, somebody that's not looking for a relationship or just operating off chemistry or vibe. Anybody can have those type of relationships. But those typically don't translate into long-term relationships. Could it possibly? Yeah, you can get lucky and meet somebody that you actually compatible with long term, and you met them on some one night stand shit or something like that, and it actually just developed into a long term relationship or marriage. That's possible, but those are the exceptions to the rule. And I never think it's a good idea to structure your dating strategy or any type of strategy based off of exception to the rule. That's just the way that I operate. Exception to the rule to me means something is very unlikely to happen. So I think it should be treated as such. But my list, the first thing that I had that I wanted to put out, in order to have any relationship that's gonna have long-term success, there has to be a mutual desire to put in the effort to have a healthy relationship. A lot of people say that. A lot of people claim they want to be in relationships. But if you go read their comments or what they said on any relationship conflict, they leave him, sis. You should leave him. You should break up. You know what I'm saying? Like they claim that they want these type of relationships, but their mentality instantly jumps to break up, cut him off. He ain't the one. Like, that's not the mentality for a long-term relationship. Like, I don't know anybody that's in a long-term marriage or relationship that has that type of mentality or that type of approach. For starters, y'all both have to have y'all have to genuinely have the desire to put forth that effort, to be able to focus on trying to understand and work through the problems, with I guess as best as you can, with good faith. You know what I'm saying? Without being petty, without being trying to intentionally hurt the person, etc.
Yeah, I think that's where things could get a little shaky. And I see this more with women than men. If men do it, I don't think that's a very masculine characteristic. Men are just doing stuff to be petty to win.
Yeah.
But usually when I've even heard women say this, I did this to him because I'm petty like that. And I'm just like,
yeah,
okay, but what did if my response is okay, you did that, but what did you accomplish there?
Right, that's one of the ways that I think about just about anything that I'm doing. Like when I'm making a decision, like when people get angry or frustrated, I'm like, man, you're less likely to get what you want by cussing somebody out or by threatening somebody or something to that nature. So to me, it doesn't make much sense to do that. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't. And when you operate in a relationship, you got to know when it's better to just be quiet. Sometimes you just got to take the L. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the parts of being in a relationship. And that leads me to number 2. You have to sacrifice the benefits that come with being single for the sake of your relationship. That's the sacrifice you have to make. Like, from me personally, man, I could fuck way more women if I was single. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be super single. But you have to sacrifice those type of things for the sake of your relationship if you want to have a long-term healthy relationship.
Absolutely, and I would hope that would be a given there. With that,
But some people want to have it both ways. That they're not willing to make the sacrifices. They're not willing to give up their single life for the relationship. So,
right.
and that's the kind of hypocritical situation that I be talking about, where I think it's fucked up for a woman to be faithful to a single dude.
Absolutely.
Dude that charge you up and play emotional games. Like, woman goes on a date, he play, oh, you broke my heart, and do the don't call me, don't ever talk to me again shit when he know he's fucking other chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's whack. That's hypocritical.
Yeah,
that's inconsistent. You know what I mean? Like, so I have a problem with that because you're not being consistent. A dude that chooses to be single knows what that means. That means that if you single, that means you can do what the fuck you want to do, who you want to do it with, and so can any chick you fucking. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I agree with that. I think if you're both single, you should be able to do what you want with whom you want. It shouldn't be. Yeah, I hate to because you have men that do that. Be single, but and deal with the chick and say, oh, yeah, but don't want her to do anything while he's out doing whatever. God knows what out there. That's
whack to me.
That's real whack. But I think another thing is giving up. Going out on the weekends. Like, if you're out every Friday and Saturday night and you're in a relationship, I don't know how long that relationship is gonna last.
Yeah, that kind of ties into what I have next on the list. Mutual respect and open communication. Like, those are two really, really big things in a relationship. And a lot of people don't really know what that looks like. A lot of women may feel like they respect men or they care about men's opinions, but the way that they handle communication with men indicate otherwise. We see that there's an abundance of people that give the female perspective on dating. Women have every platform they want in the world to be able to express their thoughts about men, what men should do, how they should do it, what's a man, what's not. They get to give their opinion on everything. But they often put a lot of energy into trying to shut men up when men try to give their opinion on women. They will question your manhood. What type of man is on social media posting about women? like they'll come for men in any type of way to try to either discredit, demean, degrade, etc. And it's like, well, damn. Why ain't the energy the same? Why, people see me in my comments always trying to explain, well, women will say, Terry, you're so biased for me simply pointing out the things that women do that create problems. And I'm like, well, man, why is it fair for women to talk about the things men do? And men like me will be like, yeah, that's fucked up when men do it. Like we just did with the one-sided relationships. I have no problem talking about when I think something a man does is fucked up, foul, lame, whack, something I have a problem with, something the quality man won't do.
Well, I think, but that's the thing. Like, we can sit here and make a whole show about what men do and flaws that men do. We can do a whole show about that, and we've done shows in the past about that. About fuckboys. We have, and they'll listen to me like, yeah, that's right, yeah, men do that stuff, and they'll slap on you and you hear a bunch of ass girl and all that stuff. But moment we use that same, and point at the flaws that women do, then it's like, oh, you guys hate women.
Yeah.
And you hear all these kind of ridiculous stuff and all this, misinformed bias vitriol here.
Yeah, it's crazy
but
how
but like I
it
said,
is.
right. And, and I've said this on previous shows that, a lot of women just don't like to be criticized or don't like to be called out on this stuff.
Very true. The next thing on my list that is required in order to make a relationship last long term is you have to have fair, reasonable methods of conflict resolution. Like, a lot of the ways that people, in particular, resolve relationships, conflict or whatever, is based off of leverage. It's not a healthy resolution to a problem. It doesn't really resolve the problem. Sometimes you have to have unpleasant conversations. A man should be able to tell you when something you are doing is causing a problem or is bothering him. And he shouldn't be penalized for it. That shouldn't impact his sex life. That shouldn't be brought up next time he wants his dick sucked, or like those type of things create environments where your partner is less likely to confide in you. They're less likely to try to come to you to resolve issues in the future, and it opens up the door for them to seek happiness with someone else or to leave the relationship. So if the goal is to have your relationship last 10, 15, 20 years, then a company that is likely to last and keep their workforce going and the morale going is somebody that listens to their complaints from their employees.
Absolutely.
If they tell you that something about your policy is unfair, or you do some exit interviews on people that are quitting and you find out that it was because of one of your policies on overtime or whatever the case may be, changing those policies will likely lead to you keeping your better employees longer. And it's the same kind of philosophy when it comes to relationships. If your partner every woman has no problem venting and voicing her complaints. Well, if men just said, fuck it, we don't care, and just ignored all y'all's complaints, we'd never have healthy relationships. So you never see me or any other men advocating that we should just completely ignore women. But we have to point out when women are bringing up shit. We have to point out how inconsistent y'all are. Because y'all go extreme on one side and then act like y'all don't see the shit when it's the other way around. That has to be pointed out. Y'all are not really objective. Y'all are not consistent the way that I am. The way that I have no problem. I can judge any situation based off the merits, and it don't matter if it's a man. I can say I think he's wrong. If it's a woman, I can say I feel that they're wrong, and I can explain why, and my why will be consistent no matter who it applies to. Like, women are not like that, and I wouldn't be able to expose the hypocritical decisions, the hypocritical stances, the hypocritical comments if they were. And so, number 4, the fair, reasonable methods of conflict resolution is really important, because a lot of women don't have those things. A lot of women are not fair. They're not reasonable with the things that they expect out of men, or the way that they expect conflicts to be resolved. A lot of women just expect you to do what they want to do, or they'll assign some meaning to that. Oh, you don't give a fuck because you didn't do what she said, or you didn't do what she wanted. But they don't apply that same logic when they refuse to do something a man wants. And so, from a male perspective,
I mean, that's definitely not effective conflict resolution. I mean, you can't expect to get anything out of that there.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a critical part of a relationship, because it's necessary, you know. And sometimes conversations or arguments in a relationship can be real emotional, or it can be a touchy subject like weight and shit like that. So even a man just coming to a woman with respect, with compassion, or with empathy, they can take offense to it, respond negatively, respond with something to intentionally try to hurt you or make you feel some type of way.
Yeah, and like I said, you're never gonna get anywhere doing things like that. I mean, just this topic. Look, like I said, I've just said this on people. It's just I think what a lot of people don't realize, getting in relationships is easy. Even getting married is easy, but that's not always the be all end all. You have to be able to maintain that, especially in a marriage. You got to be able. It's got to be maintained. If not,
you got to get past the honeymoon phase, get past the pictures and all that, and actually be compatible with that person and be able to not only deal with that person, but the unexpected stuff that comes with life. Like, that's the part that's the hardest. You don't know what y'all gonna deal with. You don't know if you're gonna have a sick kid or a family crisis or a financial issue. You don't know what you're gonna be dealing with, and how a person handles those type of crises matters.
Right, and I think you spoke about this many times as far as the dating phase. This is where you got to find out if you're compatible. Does your partner have good problem solving skills?
Yeah.
that's where that comes in. Can they use their critical thinking skills?
Yeah. I mean, you would be surprised to see how many people just make crash dummy decisions. They car broke down, so they go to the club. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, wait. You broke already. You got to spend $200 on your alternator, and you finna go waste some money. Like, so it be stuff where you just be like, well, damn, I can't deal with a person that's not making sound decisions.
All right, that's just being financially irresponsible. Then.
Let's see. So the next thing on my list, number 5 on my list, is you have to have the self-awareness to know when you are thinking or doing something that is hurting your relationship. Like, for example, you're being passive aggressive, you're being petty, you're being selfish or inconsiderate. You have to have the self-awareness to know when you're doing those things, because we all do it. We all can be making a selfish choice or doing something that you want to do, and you have to check yourself. That's it. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person for thinking that or not considering your partner. It takes effort to be considerate of your partner. You know what I mean? Like, some people are just naturally more, a person that grew up with little sisters and brothers may be more considerate than a person that's an only child. But it takes effort. And so just a little self-awareness to know when you're doing something that's hurting the relationship. That could be something as simple as listening to your partner, listening to the feedback that you give.
Right. I think a lot of relationships there's like on both men and both on the part of men and women. I think there's sometimes just a total lack of self-awareness in situations.
Very true. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people lack self-awareness. I try not to. I try to be, assess myself or assess my behavior all the time.
Because even like sometimes, I say this because men I'll talk to about, relationship ordeals, and I'm pointing out some of the stuff that they're doing, and they're just like looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm just like, it's like, wow, there's just a total lack of self-awareness here.
Yeah, it goes for men and women. There are guys that don't realize how bad they fucking up their relationships or how bad they hurt their dating situation. There are men that everything that I talk about women do, there are men that do the same thing. But when it comes to men that are bad decision makers and do all this type of crash dummy stuff, those ain't the men I speak about. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not trying to give y'all no perspective on them, because I don't know why they do it either. I don't sit around trying to figure out why they do it. To me, shit, it's just learn to identify the difference between the men like me and the dumbasses like them. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's the life hack for that. If you can learn how quality men think and operate, then you'll be able to identify all them other. Well, you may not be able to tell exactly which category they go in, but you'll be able to, like, he ain't a quality dude, he don't make the quality decisions.
Right.
And so the last thing that I had on my list that it takes to be able to make a relationship last is effort and consistency. Those two things are really underrated. A lot of people, when you talk about effort, when you talk about the problems that a person has with you, man, somebody seeing that you are putting in effort to try to fix something goes a long way. Just seeing that you are putting forth effort into it. Your man told you he thought you was gaining a little weight. You putting a little effort into him seeing you work out or going jogging or whatever you got to do. That's all he wanted to see. You doing something to prevent the situation from getting worse. To at least put some effort into making it get better. That's reasonable. That's realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's practical. And so, in being consistent, you have to continuously do the things that you did to make the person want to be with you. Your job can't give you benefits the first year and then take them away and expect you to feel the same way about doing your job.
Or even get the same job. I mean, you're probably not gonna get the same job performance that you got when you initially gave the person those
Nah,
benefits.
it's gonna change the morale. It's gonna change the like you said, the job performance or the product. You're going to change something if you take away part of the benefit of whatever situation you're talking about. And so you have to put forth consistency. And from a male perspective, that is largely surrounded around: am I treating you with respect? Am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing to take care of my family, or to show that my family is my main priority? I'm putting y'all's needs and wants above my own. I'm consistently grinding and doing what I gotta take to provide. I'm consistently giving you respect, meaning that I'm not hurting you, I'm not disrespecting you, I'm not abusing you, etc. Like most men in my category will look at like that as I'm being consistent.
Right.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Because that's what manhood is really predicated on. How are you providing for yourself and your family? That's how men are judged. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how I judge other men. You know, like I don't really care if a dude's faithful or not. I can't tell who's faithful or not. So that's not part of my criteria.
Right.
I'm judging it on how you provide for you and your family. Are you out here being frivolous and just wasting bread? Or are you buying life insurance and setting up stuff for your kids for when you pass away? Are you trying to pass on a legacy? Are you trying to set your family
Exactly.
up for success when you're not here? That's the type of stuff that makes me feel like those are the type of men that you want to be with. That's who you want making your decisions for your family, your long-term well-being. Men that think and operate like that. Men that are entrepreneurs, that are running a business, that can help put you in a position to own your business or help him run the business. Like, you want to be with those type of men because they're generally educated, whether it's formal education or not. They're ambitious. They're usually very productive. They're disciplined. Like, man, those are really good guys to end up with. So when you get with them, you want to have the things in place to be able to make it last. Because the last thing you want to do is be regretting your situation with a quality dude when you realize that you ended the relationship or you caused the relationship to end over something insignificant.
And as I say, that's a lot of times with those situations, you don't realize it until after the fact.
And that's when it's too late.
As opposed to realizing it in the eye of the storm.
Right. It's way better to make the changes while y'all are still together or still interacting than to wait till he's completely done with you to try to make it.
A lot of times, those probably once they're done, because they feel like, okay, I don't need to deal with this. I can do better than this for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, we do live in the grass is greener type of society, but that's not.
Unfortunately, the argument can be made for better or worse on that one.
All right, man. It looked like we are up against the clock, man. We had another quality episode.
Definitely.
Another shout out to Brother Soul Productions for the audio. Shout out to you, Jay, for helping me put this together. I appreciate the love. Those of y'all that are watching, make sure y'all tell your friends about the podcast. Share it. Use the link in the bio on my Instagram page. The videos or the episodes are available on Podbean and on YouTube. This has been another episode of the More Than Love podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.